Alright, welcome to the stream. We are hopefully finishing Control tonight. We've been working past couple nights on the DLC, which, again, not usually something I check out, but this game was pretty good, and I'm highly interested in the Alan Wake aspects of it. It's kind of why I started streaming it in the first place. But yeah, the game's been good. Hopefully we can knock it out today. We're gonna delve into it. I said it when I ended the stream last time, but I feel like we put in about the same amount of time that I put into the DLC that we did when I was closing up the game that first time we started our venture into the whole expansion set. And it took about 2 hours to clear the tail end of the DLC yesterday when I came back and tried to finish it up. So, I don't know. We might be looking at 2 hours. It might be a little shorter than that. I'm sort of leaning off of the logs. we weren't really reading all of them as we got them. There's a lot in this particular DLC for whatever reason, this Alan Wake one. It takes place in the investigation section, so I guess because it's investigation oriented, there's just a lot of logs, but holy shit. The first room, not even, like section, but like the room that we got into at the beginning of this DLC had like 13 logs. So yeah, it's a bit much. We might skip the rest of them. I might be in a more generous mood and maybe we'll read a few of them, but kind of just sticking with stuff that seems to correlate with Alan Wake, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Get this bad boy launched up. But yeah, I'm ready to put a kibosh in this game. I was ready about a week ago. Was kind of hoping to finish it up a little sooner, but had some things crop up and just haven't had the time to stream that I wanted to. And I've got another thing I've got to work on here. I was wondering if I should line up another game just in case this ends up being short, but to be quite honest, even if this ends up being like an hour-long stream or something, just to wrap up this tail end of this DLC, I might just call it there. Unless something else happens, I don't know, if we get like a raid with a bunch of people in it or something, I might be feeling a little more inclined to keep on. If we do end up starting another game, it is probably going to be Eco on the PS2. Oh, you know what? Okay, we were getting into this area. There's a whole big-ass area. We just went through the Fra Maro Altered World event, which was a big section, and that took up about an hour. And then now we're getting into this one. What do they call it? What is this? This is the Eagle Limited Altered World event. So they've got like rooms dedicated to Altered World events that happen. I was kind of looking for this one. I don't even know if it's like an altered object. It's like a entity that was in the Fra Maro one, and it was like a spacesuit that had come back with a moon landing team, and it was sentient and could speak English, sort of. Seems like it's not even that the words are all in the wrong order, it's just using the wrong words, but it's got the inflections right. But he wanted a head. He wanted his head back, I think. Which I am assuming is going to be a helmet, but I've got no clue where that helmet is. Let me see if I can type this up, because I kind of want to finish that up, so maybe if we can find it here. I'm going to type in a keyword like Fra Maro head and see if that pulls up something for us. In the meantime, we've got these guys to deal with. I was thinking about throwing a grenade at me. What's that noises? I need to get over here. Oh, these guys love to dodge. They love it. This is a turnstile room, but it doesn't look like... Oh, wait, hold up. Doesn't look like we need to turn the turnstile. There might not even be a control room nearby. Take you over, sir. All right. Okay, so taking a look at, I guess, this wiki for control, it seems like there is indeed a helmet, so it is as suspected. It is going to be in the sector head office, which is at the very bottom of the map. It looks like it's going to be at the start of the level. So next time I get to a control point, maybe I'll warp back there and we'll see if we can wrap it up. I don't think there's anything else in this turnstile room for me though, so let's continue onward. We've been dealing with another entity of sorts. There's been I guess he's maybe considered one of the Taken from Alan Wake. He's been affected by darkness, but it's a doctor of sorts who we read about in a log, and he was, I believe he was a therapist, apparently helping out quote-unquote people that suffered from, some sort of creativity block, such as Alan Wake. I was wondering if he was, because I remember Alan Wake did have a therapist, and I think it was his therapist that recommended that he go to Bright Falls. So I was wondering if it was that one. I mean, it would have to be if there was, in fact, one, but I also could be misremembering things, so who knows? But, yeah, that could be the guy, but he's turned into a giant monster, so he is no longer human. Or at least if there's any humanity left, it is very little and almost non-existent in its appearance. But as with all of the Taken and Alan Wake, he is affected by light, so sounded like we might get to meet him here in just a sec. I hear noises. There is a light, which we've been needing for certain sections in this game. It's sort of an interesting take, this DLC so far. There's been segments that sort of resemble, puzzles and other attributes of the Alan Wake series. Namely, this whole sector seems to be affected by the darkness in certain ways. There's been some obstacles where you need a light in order to, banish the, some of the paths that get blocked by the darkness itself, such as this. So, gotta be able to find a light in order to get those free. Actually meant to drop that, that's alright. Come on down, let's get out of here. seeing these too. These have only been popping up inside the DLC segment so far, but there's those radio stations where you could use to call a ranger out to come save you. I guess maybe not necessarily save, but, you know, out to help you out in these sections. It's been pretty handy. We're looking to go to the, I guess, the sealed fire break. It's at the sector head office. Apparently in this area. There he is. Yeah, Sergeant Hootenanny. Goddamn. That packs a punch. I don't know if I got it. We got several things that he dropped there, but apparently this guy... Oh, wait, here it is.
A helmet. For a head. Is that what the prisoner meant? I guess there's only one way to find out.
Guess so. Alright, let's go back and check on him. Our old friend here. I guess he didn't drop it. He dropped some stuff. Some pickups, so that's nice, but apparently the appearance of him there is what lets you pick up that helmet, or maybe the helmet spawns because of his existence. I don't know.
Ahead, River Chicken Station. Oh, far tastier. Press any button?
So the helmet is what you're after, huh?
Tubes, snug and grape, pure grapes. Hail a lady.
You're welcome, I guess. Did Kirkland lock you up in here?
Chief Trouble? Yes. Teddy's long around, but holdout's unhappiest. Can gather for goldfishes. No wrinkle.
Okay. Well, sounds like you're doing fine in there now. Just make sure you don't go anywhere.
Jelly.
At least we helped this guy. I think.
Okay.
Best we leave it locked up, though. We have no idea what it is, and we don't need any more problems out here.
Not a vocal fry there. That's my job. Anyway, we had read a couple logs on that particular instance. I had made mention of it before, though, but I guess there was a, I don't know if it was an Apollo moon mission or something. Yeah, it was probably American. But there was a mission to the moon, or a station, or something, I don't know. But anyway, it was in outer space. And 3 astronauts went up, 4 came back. The 3 that came back that were human could have sworn that there were 4 total, so the 4th one had some sort of mental control over them and made them misremember things. But the 4th one was just a suit.
We're in this together.
And apparently nothing else inside. Although they did perform some sort of x-rays and they said there was something in there, but whatever it wasn't human. As we talked to it just now, it sounds human. Doesn't say words correctly, but it has some sort of, like I said, it's got the proper inflection. It has some sort of grasp of the English language. All right, I can throw heavy objects now. Like, wow, the forklift came. Run, Ranger, run. Need you on my side. Or not. I think it's the first, like, live ranger we've actually lost. Okay, is this the second turnstile room? Yes, it is. Could have just looked up, I suppose. Felt like pressing the up button on the D-pad was probably a little bit quicker. Very smoky in here. I just kind of want to see if there's anything else in here to, like, look at or something, but doesn't seem like that's the case. Utility corridor. Correspondence, brain missing. Good for nothing's a security check. I know you took part of my brain when you put me through that metal detector. I'm not stupid. I know what they're really for. I don't know. What I don't know is whether taking part of my brain causes me to lose my memories or to lose sleep. I've been told if you lose sleep, you lose everything else too. That's where you trick us, regular people. Now I don't know which it is, and I can't remember what you did to me. But I can tell you all this much. I don't find it funny at all. I want my memories back. And you can be sure the next time I visit Baltimore Washington International Thurgood Marshall Airport, I will come to find you and make you fix what you broke. Sincerely, I don't think I will be signing this with my real name. Like I said, I'm not stupid. You can just mind your own business. There's a mass of darkness here.
All right, Ati. Was this what you had in mind?
Painting? What is it? It's like a painting of a field. I don't know if it, like, has any correspondence to paintings that Adi was using or whatever. But the good thing is there seems to be plenty of lights. Looks like we're gonna lose access to it though. Every time I drop from a height, it's usually like this pool, but it seems like they destroy the lights somehow. Night Spring screenplay. I think I'm done reading the screenplays. We've talked about these mold rooms before, but she doesn't say anything. There doesn't seem to be any sort of indicators as to whether or not, you know, I'm needing to destroy these pods. They are
No
somewhat...
AC, no mold spore circulation.
Okay.
But it might get a bit stuffy in here.
Anyway, I was going to say she usually doesn't say anything. I wonder if I ended up missing something in the previous room that I cleared out, which I think was... Actually, I don't remember if that was part of the last DLC or if it was just part of the previous section that I was in this one. But in any case, it's not super clear cut as to whether or not I should even be bothering with that.
Christ. Did the Hartman thing do all this?
What Hartman thing? Oh, the Dr. Hartman. The beast you've been following. I don't necessarily know what any of this is for. It seems like there are color-coded cables, though. So maybe there are particular stations I should be lighting up. Some of them lead to items. This one apparently seems to be a one-wire kind of door. Can't go wrong with that. And we need to get into here. This is a two-wire one. Let's see. Two red, which I think I got. Oh no, I got an orange. Any boxes? No? Okay. Next down the line is... I need 4 for that one. Okay, now we need the orange. That's an orange. So is that. And so is that. No? Did I get it wrong? Oh no, that's blue. That's an orange. There you go. Okay. I think they'd be able to organize these a little bit better, so more clear cut. Maybe keep all the stations near the doors that they actually open. Weapon mod's full. It's a level 3 anyway, so not real keen on getting it. It looks like we've gotten a couple like level 5s though. Okay. There's gotta be one for this set of doors.
Reminder, the law of 3 also applies to all faucets within the oldest house. Be mindful and don't cause any aquatic misconduct. Thank you for your attention.
Aquatic misconduct. Sounds like some of the policies and procedures they'd have at SeaWorld. picking up the flashlight. I'm like, no, I don't want to throw the flashlight. At least the flashlight still works. Guess it's more of a floodlight than anything, but whatever. Okay. Making progress. Looks like there's a big room in here. I don't know what this altered world event is. We haven't seen any logs indicating it, but Eagle Limited AWE. There you go. Whatever Eagle Limited is, there was some sort of altered world event happening here.
Lots of dark corners to hide. Okay, let's get the lights on and clear him out.
Boy, did we read a log on some subway car? I don't remember. It's all the lights on for us, alright. New York paranormal activity, or just New York.
Where's it running off to now? All aboard?
Let me look inside at the little research station labs and see if there's anything in here. Was it only the one? Boy, there wasn't even a lot of lights that got turned on. This guy freaked out for nothing. Let me take a look and see if there's anything I can upgrade for this spin. Look, we got a level 5 accuracy. That's good. Just got a level 5 ammo efficiency. Get rid of those then. Damage while aiming. Damage boost. Yeah, we got a lot of damage packed away on the pierce. What's this?
Guthrie Interrogation 4C pertaining to the Eagle Limited incident and its subsequent, state alteration.
Look, buddy, I have no clue what you're talking about.
So you deny being a part of a radical group aiming to affect inanimate objects in a manner that would yield, Unusual results?
Yeah, I deny. But hey, tell me more about these results. They sound real unusual.
I'm sure you recognize that the measures this group of yours takes to achieve their goals can be considered acts of terrorism.
Goals? Measures? You're being very vague. Did you know you're being very vague?
All right, 62 dead. Passengers and crew, innocent people. Still sound vague to you?
You might as well stop wasting both our time. I won't say anything, and you can't say anything. I know you can't.
Tell you what I can do. I can throw your sorry ass in one of our cozy containment cells. You can rot there until you're ready to talk. Or you could just save us both the trouble and tell me all about how you're going around creating altered items. How's that sound? Did you really think we wouldn't catch on to you? We always do. Always. So you might as well come clean. For your sake.
I think I'll just talk to my lawyer instead.
That's not how it works around here, buddy. But tell you what. Why don't I leave you here to think on it for a while? See you in a couple of days.
Wait.
Okay. Now I kind of remember. We did read a log. There was apparently some sort of, do they call them paracriminal? Or paracriminals, whatever. But there was a group, I guess it was sort of like a paracriminal terrorist organization, and they affected a train, which I guess would be this here, and created a altered item somehow, but it wasn't disclosed as to how they were doing it, so I guess they still didn't know by the time that recording took place. But let's see, do I need to go that way? What is even in here? What exactly it did, I wasn't too sure of either. They just said it was altered, so this must be the altered thing.
Good evening, all you fine-looking folks. Here's some smooth tunes to ease your minds
Next up,
and
Alton,
please your
Collinville,
ears
and
as we wait for that.
Tickets, please. Tickets. Everyone, stay in your seat. In your seat.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard the Eagle Limited bound for Chicago. Please have your tickets ready and enjoy the ride.
Okay. I guess all those objects
Well, that was
contain sounds.
chaotic. Felt like it was trying to tell me something. I wonder if I can make sense of it.
Sounds of what was happening? I don't know, maybe. I have to click them in a certain order or something? Why don't we go up here and see if there's anything that can give us some clues as to what the hell's going on with that thing. Eagle Limited supplement details the Bureau's gathered concrete evidence that the train derailment was in fact the work of a paracriminal group known as Redacted, which, according to the Bureau's intel, has shown a concerning interest in experimenting with the artificial manufacturing of altered materials. Knowing the group largely operates in the American Midwest, the Bureau worked alongside the FBI to ascertain their movements and rendezvous locations. This cooperation provided agents with information that led to an arrest in conjunction with the AWE case. Under suspicion of involvement, Redacted was brought in for questioning. An interrogation performed by Agent Redacted resulted in the suspect being kept in a holding cell for 2 days without food, in breach of Paracriminal Rights Act. Afterwards, the suspect confessed to his involvement in the Redacted group and provided information on other members in exchange for his freedom. They got him to cooperate. But that only tells us what's going on with the paracriminal that they had caught. Doesn't really tell me what's going on with the train car itself.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard the Eagle Limited bound for Chicago. Please have your tickets ready and enjoy the ride.
Next stops, Alton, Carlinville, and Springfield. That's Alton, Carlinville, and Springfield. Tickets, please. Tickets. Oh my God. Fire! Fire! Everyone, stay in your seats. In your seats. Nothing to sir. Sit down. Go. Everyone, hold on.
If we're doing it in chronological order, these two would be last. I'm thinking the briefcase would be first.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard the Eagle Limited bound for Chicago. Please have your tickets ready and enjoy
Maybe
the ride.
this second.
Good evening, all you fine-looking folks. Here's some smooth tunes to ease your minds and please your ears as we wait for that delicious dinner to roll right on in.
Next stops, Alton, Carlinville, and Springfield. That's Alton, Carlinville, and Springfield. Tickets, please. Tickets. Fire! Everyone, stay in your seats. In your seats. Nothing to sir. Sit down. Everyone, hold on.
I don't know. I mean, that seemed like a correct order. The only thing that might be a little bit more correct is swapping out the, I don't know. I was thinking maybe the hat. Conductor hat. With something.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard the Eagle
Because
Limited
the
bound
jazz
for
thing
Chicago.
talks about
Please have your tickets ready
dinner
and enjoy
coming.
the ride.
So I would think that hasn't happened yet.
Next stops, Alton, Carlinville, and Springfield. That's Alton, Carlinville, and Springfield. Tickets, please.
Good evening, all you fine-looking folks. Here's some smooth tunes to ease your minds.
Weird sound that I hadn't heard
and
yet.
your ears as we wait for that delicious dinner to roll right on in.
Oh, that was it. Just need to let all the sounds play.
You had a pretty dark ride, huh? But I hope you're done replaying it now.
Oh, that was a thing. Another thing I remember about this was that the train had crashed, but there was one train car that was left completely intact. So that was the unusual thing about it. Outside, I guess, those weird noise recordings. But got it all wrapped up now. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. I was like, I don't know if that portrait is supposed to look like that or not. Shaded specimen captured. Entity capture report. Shaded specimen. Formerly Dr. Emil Hartman. An alert from the redacted Washington monitoring station indicated a minor redacted activity occurring in the area. Agent Estevez was dispatched to investigate. Inside the redacted lodge, she discovered the facility's former owner, Dr. Emil Hartman. He had been converted into a shaded individual per definitions found in file 6-34-1923 and displayed violent behavior characteristics of its type. Agent Estevez alerted the on-site research team to the specimen's presence, and with some difficulty it was successfully contained in a black rock cell. The cell and its inhabitant were transported safely back to HQ, where the specimen remains detained in the redacted sector as part of the redacted AWE investigation. Once the investigation is closed, research teams have petitioned to relocate the specimen to their sector for study. Refer to file 5-11-0203 for full report. suppose those things can jump, huh? It's useless, but I mostly want to get its attention so I can go get that item. I just started noticing that they've been laying these tarps down. Sort of like the, I mean, it's a bright yellow thing indicating the path that you're supposed to take, but it reminds me of the weird yellow paint splotches in Resident Evil 4 that made everything very obvious as to where you're going to go. I feel like, for the most part, that hasn't been the case. So, I'm assuming that this DLC was made, you know, after the main game was created. They probably still had some working time on it before they got it released, but, wonder if that was a decision after the fact to sort of make the paths more obvious, and why they decided to do that when they didn't do it for the main game. Hey Stu, did you hear about Fisher? Got himself in trouble in the motel. Why the hell does anyone volunteer to stake out that place? Gives me the creeps. But hey, at least he came back, if you can call it that. I saw some footage they pulled out of there with him. Calm down and evidence processing showed me. Crazy stuff. Fisher had the cameras pointed at himself half the time. I'm guessing he went nuts on day one. He did catch something, though. Got one of those fiber optic cameras under the door of the room he was hiding in and recorded something out of the hall. Looked like a shadow, maybe human. Tom tried to get the quality up, but still blurry as fuck. Just reaffirms my position. Stay the fuck out of the motel. Anyway, up for some shoom later? Lisa got up to about an hour and 38 minutes yesterday. New record to beat. See ya, Dave. Shoom? What is shoom? It's the latest Doom knockoff. I'm surprised we haven't unlocked that many more ability points. I was assuming that doing these side quests like the astronaut and the train car would net us something like that, but I think maybe it only gives us like building points or something. I don't know. Level 6? Wow. Didn't know there was level 6 modifications. Damage boost. Obscured personal mod. Infinite. All this shit for like shields and stuff. Sort of disappointing. Anyway, who needs level 4 and 3 now? We've got one for boost, right? Evade energy cost minus 22%. Energy cost. Oh no, that's ammo recovery on evade use. What? That's weird. Source gained per element pickup. Incoming damage after seizing enemies. Minus 30%. Boy, these are weird. There's like all these weird attributes that seemingly have nothing to do with whatever it's attached to. Health recovery on launch hits. That's kind of a nice one. Energy gained from taking shield damage. Health recovery on launch hits seems like something I'd be interested in. Energy recovery speed, launch energy cost, evade energy cost. I don't know, I kind of like all the ones I got, to be quite honest, but maybe I'll do the health health recovery on launch hits, because sometimes I get into trouble when I'm using the launch. The dashing, I think I need, because it just gets me out of a jam a little bit quicker.
We need to get those lights on.
Still one more, huh?
We need another power core.
Power cell in here, but I've got no clue where it is. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh boy. Not gonna let me do anything, huh? Okay. I don't suppose there's any enemies around I can heal myself with. Got a couple points. Boy, that was not fun.
Okay, now where's the switch?
Right in the middle of the room, honey. Almost died with that one, but managed to get through. Don't suppose there's anything else in here. Doesn't quite look like it. Yeah, exactly. Where do you think the switch is? It's a big red button in the center. Oh, look at that. There's still all this health here from that little skirmish we had at the very start of this area. Alright, now that we've done these two, it would stand to reason that we could access the third one in the center, but let's see. I think it's weird that we're going down. We were going up to get here, but maybe I'm remembering the other one.
Director, ma'am, great timing. Hartman just came through here. God, he was hideous. He tore the security door into the Bright Falls AWE site wide open. He was so ugly. Like, wow. I got a good look at him, and Christ, he does not look like he used to. The hiss must have messed him up or something. He looks like a bar rag that's been twisted by the world's strongest man. Or a monster from some 80s horror movie. You know, back when it was all practical effects? Ugh, nasty.
Real
Did you say
professional,
something?
Winston.
Remember, I can't hear you. Never mind, just go after
I've
Hartman.
written
Oh,
and rewritten.
so
The darkness wants to hide the past to make me lose my way. I trust what I read on these pages. I wrote them for a reason. Cut through the reality, tear it apart, and rewrite it. They are drawn to the mystery.
That's sort of the thing I'm wondering if it's what's going on with Alan Wake 2. We've talked about it a couple times before, but still, the fact that Awake can basically rewrite reality.
Let's go take care of it.
The weird changes, or, you know, some of the characters. It's like I'm wondering if that has something to do with anything that Awake is written and not actually reality as we've seen it. I mean, perfect excuse to retcon things. A little premature on that one. Ah, but you came back like a bitch. When you thought it was safe. It wasn't. Still got that flashlight? Floodlight, whatever it was. I think it must have broken.
Thank you for meeting with us again, Dr. Hartman.
It's my pleasure, gentlemen. I hope the information I provided thus far has been of some small use.
It's been invaluable, Doctor. Really, we have a much clearer picture of this event, thanks to your accounts.
Well, I do consider myself a keen observer of...
We did have one question, though. You mentioned in an earlier conversation that your patients displayed, and I'm paraphrasing here, unnatural abilities that you in fact encouraged during their time in your lodge. It'd be very helpful if you could fill us in on the details there.
Of course. Like yourselves, I work to understand and even bend the rules of our earthly paradigm. My patients' well-being was paramount, of course, but I would hardly be a man of science if I did not reach out at the underlying truth. As I stated in my written proposal, I believe working alongside your organization could be greatly beneficial to both parties. Sharing notes, as they say.
Thank you, Doctor. That's all we need to hear. Remy?
Dr. Emil Hartman, you have been found in breach of Codes 4, 8, and 74 of the Federal Bureau of Control Criminal Offense System.
What? You can't do this. I am a well-connected man. You're making a dire mistake, my friend.
You will be detained until further notice, and all personal property will be confiscated, including the Cauldron Lake Lodge.
That's preposterous. You can't just seize my property. I'm a United States citizen. I have rights. That lodge is my life's work. I'm offering you years of research.
Get him out of here.
You're making a mistake. You have to listen to me. You have to listen.
Okay. I did a quick little look up. Apparently, Emil Hartman was, in fact, the psychiatrist that I mentioned previously. I mean, I'm sure anyone that's like super familiar with the Alan Wake universe and everything probably already knew that, but I was unsure. But yeah, it was a psychiatrist that recommended he being Alan Wake, go to Bright Falls. Apparently, the lodge was under his ownership, and he had worked as an assistant with Thomas Zane as well, so he was directing people to go to Cauldron Lake. Use their abilities for creativity to alter reality.
I've forgotten again. I had a plan. I know it. I've forgotten. He's coming. I've got to get out of here. Dive deep.
Oh! Very familiar visuals that we saw a lot in Alan Wake 2.
Whatever is going on with Wake, he clearly needs some help.
Maybe you can help him. Projector. Not gonna play anything for me? Oh, doesn't cast to the other side of the hallway. That's weird. Good morning, Agent Johnson. Oh, the key's on the front desk. That's unusual.
Going mad. Wake had to escape, right? His escape. Wake needed a hero. A hero needed a crisis. For the part in the story about the government agency, Wake needed something special. Something to convey an alien force mimicking human intelligence.
Another replica. Like the one they made for Ordinary. I wonder what happened here.
I can't even see what the hell's going on here. What did that do?
Send a ranger out. Director's orders.
We're in this together.
Alice Wake interview. After reaching out to the Bureau, Alice Wake was brought into the oldest house for an interview on Redacted 2017. See file redacted for full transcript. We've seen another file on this before. Summary: the interview was conducted by agents Sean Dempsey. Revealed that Mrs. Wake has had recurring nightly visitations to her missing ex-husband in her New York apartment. Address redacted. Mr. Wake appears out of nowhere and rushes at her down the corridor. According to her impression, he appears crazy and horrifying, clearly coming at her with violent intent. Mrs. Wake believes that he is haunting her, insisting he is not Alan, but a fucking monster in his body. Mrs. Wake has not been sleeping out of fear of these visits. Her attempts to keep the lights on through the night result in the relevant hallway's light bulbs breaking every night, possibly indicating involvement of the redacted. Further investigation required, we propose installing monitoring equipment in the apartment. Copies of supply request form L-501-4 have been sent to Mr. Kirkland administration for approval. Playing Alan Wake 2, we know how all that went down.
These are the notes of Dr. Emil Hunt. I am continuing my work alone again since the department tried to recognize conversations came to naught. Some people simply do not value collaboration as I do. So I believe now that it was for the best. Sort of old pioneering work that I am undertaking.
I'm gonna have to leave that blog.
He said,
baby, orange peel.
Okay, we're over here now, but doesn't seem like there's anything here for me. Don't waste your ammo, Ranger. Oh, that log is still going? Jesus. Maybe it stops playing if you travel out, but holy shit. These are just a bunch of logs. I'm not gonna pick those up right now. Ah, here we go. Nowhere to go now, huh?
You are pretty rough on the eyes.
Still teleport, I guess. Shit. Sucks 'cause I gotta get close to get the health back up.
devoured by hungry darkness.
Whoa, shit. The warping right in front of your routine is, it's a little dodgy. Quite as intimidating when he uses Hartman's real voice.
Hartman won't be a problem anymore, Langston. But investigations need someone to run it. Interested?
I've seen what happens to sector heads, ma'am. No, thank you. Ma'am, I'm getting something on my terminal here, an AWE alert from Bright Falls, Washington. But it might be a glitch. The date's all wrong, a couple of years in the future. And we're in lockdown, there shouldn't be any incoming signals.
Maybe it was active before we went into lockdown? Are there agents on site?
Let me check. Agent Estevez is the field agent in charge of monitoring the site, so she should be there to let us know if the situation has been through any major changes recently.
Things set in motion. If the alarm's true, then so is the reason for the alarm. The effect must follow the cause. It's happening again. A return. You have been warned.
Alan Wake 2 coming in 2023. Actually, they probably planned on it to be in 2022. But a couple of years in the future, but I think there's probably some issues with COVID and everything. Guess we're not done yet, though. I don't know why they sick a bunch of enemies on me right as we're finishing things up. Mine. I'm in control. Let's take a look at these logs now. Wake evidence. Photograph of Alan Wake captured by Alice Wake during an event in her home. Alice Wake, former wife of Alan Wake, CAWE 35 for details, has recently been visited at night by her ex-husband, or entity resembling him. See file redacted for more. Being a professional photographer, Mrs. Wake positioned cameras with motion sensors around the corridor he appears in and managed to capture an image of Mr. Wake on film. During an interview with Mrs. Wake, she mentioned that her favorite camera, a redacted model, was lost in 2010 during AWE 35. No match has been found among the confiscated evidence from AWE 35. It's been filed as a potential altered item, and research staff stationed at Bright Falls are being contacted to check if they have any knowledge of such an item. Fake photograph. Oh, there he is. Mr. Scratch. Bright Falls 1976 supplement. On the day of the flooding, the rock band Old Gods of Asgard was rehearsing in the field outside of Anderson Farm, the homestead of band members Odin and Tor Anderson. Both admitted to being in a heavy state of inebriation at the time, having spent days, quote-unquote, drinking their home-brewed moonshine while celebrating Deerfest. After the townspeople were evacuated from the flooded field, Sheriff Breaker was asked by Freya Anderson, daughter of Tor Anderson, to check on her father and uncle. Breaker drove to the Anderson farm and found the band members alive but in need of medical aid. Tor Anderson had been struck by lightning, and Odin Anderson had cut his own right eye, possible reference to Norse deities, and redacted. They claimed they had fought and valiantly defeated a dark army of the Scratching Hag rising from the Cauldron Lake. See AWE Redacted of 1970, related to the suspected redacted at Divers Isle. While impossible to verify, these events are relevant to the recurring AWE of Bright Falls at the Cauldron Lake Redacted. Odin and Tor Anderson have been listed as persons of interest. We never really, like, what is this a, she called it a replica, but I don't know what it's a replica of. The farm? Anderson Farm? Doesn't look like anything I remember. Oh, I guess I can't go in there. Looks like there's a potential doorway out of here. Let's look at the map, see how there's an inlet? Go back here too, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's any more to this. It's weird that it... I don't even know if I should call that an ending, but you know. After the battle with... What the hell? What was that? Weird physics bullshit going on. But after the battle with the boss, it was like, you know, we get a little cutscene and then there's just like more battle after that. What's going on? Oh, here's the elevator too. That's what it was going down into. I wasn't even sure. This might be the containment cell where they were keeping Hartman. Do enemies just like pop up here routinely? I guess they must. Well, it kind of bugs me because it looks like there might be something else here. I guess whatever's in there is what's on the map. But there's like nothing else I've got access to. I'm not seeing anything else. I think that was it. I kind of wish there was something a little more conclusive, but I don't think there's going to be. Oh, shit. Oh, Shoom is a game. It's an arcade machine. Shoom. Jesse Faden starring in Swift Platform. Oh, that was the one we started, but I ended up dying twice on it, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just forget that. Let me see if I could do this one. Get the hell out of here. Being a nuisance. Yeah, there's still this whole section. This is something that kind of annoyed me because I wish the map was better in this game. If there's one complaint I have in this game, it's I don't understand the map half the time because there are multiple levels. And then, you know, sometimes you're walking around looking at something and you don't have access to it because you don't know what the hell you're looking for or at or anything. Let me go into logistics and see if I could get into that door or something. I don't remember if it was a door that I didn't have like access to because of a low security level rank or if it was just locked on the other side or what. But let me just take a look at this real quick because there's a whole section in this security area, several from the looks of it, that I just cannot get access to. And, you know, there's no valid reason why. It's just I gotta find the right path to it, but sure as hell can't find it with the map they're giving me. Okay, so after all that, mechanical room, that kind of looks like the hallway I need to get into. Basically, you see like the bright path that's kind of in front of where my character marker is. My character marker's pointing right at it. That's what I seemingly need to get to in order to get into that section. But I couldn't find a path anywhere else. It looks like there's potentially something that might access it near the turntable, but I couldn't find anything there when I went looking for it previously, so I've got no clue and it's mildly annoying. Could look it up, I guess, but I feel like I shouldn't have to. Map of this place should be clear-cut enough as is, but it ain't. It ain't. So while we're looking for this, I'm gonna teleport around here maybe and see if we can find some way to access that, because apparently that's where the lamp is. I need to get all the altered items for the side quest. But we'll see what we can do. But let's talk about this game a little bit while we're doing it, because we're pretty much done. Finished up both the DLC expansions, finished up the main game. There are, as we can see, a number of side quests left, if you so choose to continue playing. So it looks like there's plenty of content. But yeah, for an action game, this game had quite a bit going for it. Again, one of the biggest criticisms I remember hearing prior to actually, getting into the meat of the game, I had played it a little bit when it was first gifted to me for about 2 hours or so, and thought it was pretty cool. Wanted to stream it at some point, so I stopped. Decided we'd get to it eventually. Took a few years, but here we are. But anyway, by the time I ended up getting to this, I mean, we had finished up Alan Wake 2, and I didn't necessarily forget about this game, but it was less of a priority. But the fact that Alan Wake 2 was so good, I just had to jump into this and play it. But one of the biggest criticisms I had kept hearing about this game was it gets boring fast. A lot of people were talking about how the game itself just didn't have a whole lot of variety. I think maybe to a point that's probably valid to an extent. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a decent amount of enemy variety. You can mix up your tactics a little bit. Sure, it would have been nice to have different looking guns or something, but you get guns with different effects. I mean, you get a grenade launcher, you get a machine gun, you get a pistol, you get a sniper rifle, basically. I use these words like rifle. Of course, they're all relegated to handgun form, but the functionality is the same as such, so I could refer to it as that, just kind of like find some commonalities or something. But anyway, yeah, I mean, there's a decent amount of enemy variety, decent amount of weapon variety. Would it have been nice if there was, something else, I guess? If we had, the ability to switch between weapon forms outside of just the standard 2 on the fly, that would have been nice. I'm not super mad about not having the ability to do that. It's not really a huge concern of mine. And then just kind of like the mission variety, puzzles, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I think the big part of it is like, this is a third-person shooter. You kind of know what to expect. Typically, when you play a lot of third-person shooters, there's not going to be a whole lot of variety in the activity of what you're doing, per se. It's usually just pointing and shooting. What I think ended up making this game was the visuals. That was one of the other reasons why I wanted to come back to this so much, was because visually this game just looks so different. Sterling AWE. I don't think we had access to this before. Oh, Tomasi. Okay, so this is a side quest. But the stark visual differences, and just like, not even just the visual differences in the game in and of itself, but the visual differences with how this game looks compared to like everything else. There's some odd parts. I've made complaints about how the game, gets super dark in certain areas, or it gets a little hard to see. Sometimes it's a little too bright, things of that nature. But I think for the most part, it's mostly negligible. I feel like during the Alan Wake segments, probably for good reason, it's a little harder to see than most other games. Most other segments in the game, I should say, just because darkness sort of was the theme. But outside of that, it wasn't too much of a bother. But you know, just the architecture of the building, the fact that everything has sort of this retro feel to it, you know, an in-game world reason everything has to be analog because nothing digital works in here in the oldest house. I just think the setting and everything surrounding it was so interesting and sort of just fed into the game and made it all that much more interesting for me to play. So big props to like a lot of the visual stuff. It's really, really intriguing to look through all this and discover all these new areas. I think the variety, you know, whether or not you think there's enough variety in the gameplay, I think the variety in the visuals was very important and definitely stood out. And even if the gameplay wasn't all of that different throughout the game, the fact that you had like these differing locales sort of helped alleviate whatever sort of tedium you might have been feeling with like core gameplay. But as I said before, I don't even think I necessarily felt any like boring vibes. I wasn't getting bored playing this game. Ah, shit. This thing's still kicking my ass too. Just, I think, on that stream where we finished up the main part of the game, I think it was being brought up, or I remember talking about it at least. I'm like, we've been going strong for, 8-9 hours or something like that, and I'm not sick of it yet. I'll let you know, and you can probably tell when I'm getting sick of a game. I was starting getting a little sick of it, especially when I'm like on a timetable. I'm getting a little sick of it doing the DLC stuff. I think mostly it was the Foundation one, though. Again, it was like, there wasn't a whole lot of variety in the gameplay, and you could sort of feel it in that, and what I had just complimented the game on, which was the visuals. The visual aspect was so strong throughout the game, but just with the Foundation DLC, it just not a whole lot going on. A lot of caves and stuff, but outside of the caves and the one like maintenance tower looking thing, there wasn't a whole lot else going on there. I feel like the Alan Wake DLC was a lot more tolerable. It reused a lot of assets. Like, there wasn't anything new necessarily that hadn't been seen in the core game, but at the very least, it was more variety than just caves. So I think that ended up being important. Ended up being an important saving grace. Goddamn. Oh, got hit by that thing once again. Goddamn. It's the one that turns invisible. And it also teleports. That's the other aspect about it that sort of sucks. Not only is it invisible, it can teleport behind you. Nothing personal, kid. Outside of this segment and everything, the game has felt nice and fair. There was a nice sort of like learning curve to the game. I don't feel like anything jumped up to be too hard necessarily. Scaling and all that felt pretty good. I do like these abilities. If they do end up doing a sequel at some point, I would like to maybe see something more. I don't know what. We've equated a lot of the abilities here to Jedi Force powers, but that's what I was looking for. Ended up getting hit by Tomasi. And then that thing pops up behind me. Once it screams, it's got a huge radius. And it's hard to get away from it again because it teleports. if there's a better way to do this. Maybe instead of... Because we're only dealing with a handful of enemies. Maybe instead of the spin... We get that new gun. I never tried it, though. Adhesive grenades. Maybe not. I think the charge might be fine. Projectile speed. I can boost the projectile speed with that. Reload speed. Projectile speed 500%. Holy shit. Wait, why is that so high? Why is that so high? Holy shit. 500% speed increase? It's like instantaneous. Alright. Well, it's better than the level 6. Sure, whatever. This is one of those unique ones it was talking about. Let's see. Like differing names or anything, though.
There you are.
Bug off, Tomasi. Done with you.
I guess the Bureau should start looking for communications.
Alright, that was rough. Took a few tries. Swapping out to the charge gun definitely helped, though. See, that's a good way to measure whether or not the guns are actively working in your favor or not, or if there's any difference between them. If there's something you're struggling with, and you can swap out a weapon and it makes all the difference. Probably a decent design. Sterling AWE 46. Paranatural object appeared in the field outside of town Sterling, Colorado, near billboard advertising redacted. No civilians were injured, though a family dog has been reported as missing since the event. In response, local authorities arrived at the scene and began issuing orders over a monitored line of communication using several watchwords flagged by the Bureau, including redacted. Bureau agents from the regional office were dispatched and arrived 2 hours after the local police. The situation was contained and analysis began. Bureau research staff arrived the next day and examined the object. After redacted days of evaluation, the object was lifted onto an enclosed truck with built-in BlackRock panels and relocated to the Bureau headquarters via the subway transit system leading to the oldest house. Subway transit system. So is this the BlackRock encasing, or is this the object itself? That's sort of the question I have. Interesting. That's one of my favorite aspects about this game as well, is not just the, visual storytelling and the visuals of the game itself and the visual design, but a lot of the AWE event, AWE, altered world events, yes. AWEs and the altered objects of power, all those kinds of things. Even though objects of power, few and far between. The gun, a couple other things here and there, but not too much. But yeah, all of the altered objects and stuff. Honestly, there was a lot in this game. I can't complain that there was a shortage, but I would have loved it if there was more. So yeah, definitely, if they end up doing another one, they should double down. We want more.
You're listening to America Overnight.
Yeah, I'll be right on that, I guess. Sterling supplement. Local witnesses report a bright flash in the field that approximately redacted. No noise accompanied the light. Authorities had assumed the object fell from the sky, but our examination found the object actually manifested there, vaporizing the soil around it in an intense spherical redacted, which possibly explains the lights seen from the town. The object is a hollow sphere made of a stone-like material. Structural analysis, the material does not redacted on record. The sphere has a broken portion, as if something redacted from the object. The object has been inactive since arriving at the Bureau. Communications Department officially stated to the press that the object was a small meteor, while also using America Overnight program to redact it. See episode 92. It's probably the one that was on the recorder there. Note the AWE will be studied in a containment sector until the spherical object is deemed safe to be transferred to the investigation sector. Just in case. Sounds like it might have been a craft of some sort, though. Since a portion of it was broken off and it has since remained inactive. But yeah, all this stuff, government conspiracy stuff, whether it's based in reality in any form or not, I just find all that kind of thing fascinating. As I said before, a lot of this game seemed to be inspired by the SCP community and the whole world that's created. And, right down to the logs and the files and the redacted statements and all that kind of stuff. It all comes from a particular source. Small little internet community that blossomed into something much greater. But yeah, it's a very, very cool thing to kind of build a universe or game or some sort of medium off of. I mean, they've done it before with stuff like X-Files. I think in particular is probably going to be the big one. Other things like Fringe. I'm sure there's copycat TV shows and other movies and stuff that have probably been influenced as well. But yeah, definitely stuff like X-Files would be among theirs influences of this game. The physics control has all been pretty good too. I sort of wish, I don't know, again, it would have been nice if there was some other power or something. I didn't end up finding stuff like the shield too effective. Maybe if there were ways to alter it to make it a little bit more desirable. But still, might have its uses. I guess the throwing the objects would have made it more desirable to me, like right off the bat. Maybe if it was a lot more powerful than it actually was. Maybe I just need to upgrade it, because, if it was as good as the throw, or maybe, took the place of the throwing ability, or something, I'd probably end up using it a little bit more. Actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea, I think. Because when you pick stuff up to throw, and you have the multiple objects, it almost kind of creates a shield. So, how bad would it be just to merge the two? You can unlock further abilities, make it more effective by giving it more objects that you can pick up, and more objects you have either means better shield or more damage. Gives you a choice between the two. But yeah, other than that, I mean, again, my criticisms of the game, the map is not fun to look at. There's not a whole lot going on here. It's confusing at worst. A lot of segments where I ended up pulling up the map and I'm just like, where's this going? What am I expected to look at here? All so annoying. Is there a door in there? There might be a door in there I have access to. Let's go check that out. Take this elevator. Actually, with the charge, probably don't want the pierce. Get the shatter back up. Projectile speed. Projectile spread. Minus 100. Holy shit. This recoil. I'm not really too worried about recoil. It's like a super concentrated shotgun blast, though. That'd be nice. I don't think necessarily the level design is confusing, although sometimes you can get a little lost. But yeah, definitely more so just the trying to work out the mapping system sometimes could be a little frustrating. This might be what we're looking for. Oh shit, no it isn't. It's just a closet. Never mind. So yeah, this hallway that I'm apparently in, and you know, you can't tell whether you are or you aren't because there's no distinction in levels. There isn't, right? I'm not just like being super stupid. I don't think there is. No. Instead of having a map that you pull up, instead of doing like the Doom map that you pull up and you can move around, give me a full map. Give me a full feature map, please. Control 2. They do a Control 2. Which hopefully they will. I'd like to see a sequel to this game. Something improved on it. Give me a full functioning map that I can, especially when you're dealing with levels, that I could pull up and take a look at. And take a look at the different levels. Because this shit's annoying. Come back there. Otherwise, I liked all the characters in this game. I thought the writing was pretty solid, even though there wasn't, like, you know, a super hard story. I will say that, I don't even remember his name. Jesse's brother, Dylan. It seemed like they were setting him up for something big, and yeah, he kind of was there at the events at the end of the game, but there wasn't really, like, kind of like this personal showdown that I was expecting there would be. I felt like he was a little bit underutilized. I don't know. It sort of maybe would have been slightly better had they made him seem more like a threat. He was sort of like a catalyst or maybe a host for the hiss, and he had some sort of effect on the final events of the game, but it didn't feel as personal as it probably should have, and he was sort of a distant character, which is kind of sad considering that, you know, Jesse's whole motivations for getting into the FBC and everything was specifically for him, and he just, I don't know, he didn't feel much like a character. He felt more like a MacGuffin, something to set off a series of events, but didn't really have a whole lot of effect outside of just being that catalyst. But in any case, I don't know if that means that they're eventually going to be doing something additional with him, but yeah, he just didn't really end up feeling like that big of a threat or an entity by the end of the game. So, slightly disappointing, but I'll let it slide. The other thing too is just, I guess sort of minor, but the music in the game, there's not much music. I do like that it sort of ebbs and flows, and it sort of matches the pace of what's going on around you. I've always liked that kind of thing. Ever since Metal Gear Solid, the first major games to do it. Having the layered music tracks and everything, but, you know, when enemies are around, you get that little beat and everything, but I don't know, something more thematic I think would have been nice. They had the licensed music here and there. The whatever, Poets of Fall, or whatever they are. The old gods of Asgard, but not really. They had stuff like that, got content claimed on that, so that was cool. And then some of the other music tracks, there's like that weird 80s thing. I remember somebody said 80s vibe with the music track that was playing on the fast-moving platform with the reel-to-reel camera. So, I mean, there are moments where it pulls up some songs. There's some songs on the radio, but just the natural music that plays as your BGM in the game. Not a whole lot going on. A little bit of ambiance, but gotta say, it doesn't help out too much. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's a cool game. I would like to see a Control 2 again. They end up doing it. Improve on this one. They could do another full game in the oldest house. I mean, that's the thing with like a building that is possibly an entity itself and something that shifts around. Maybe, who knows, with Jessie in the director's seat, maybe it'll change more based on her directorialship as opposed to Trench or something. But just kind of unraveling the mysteries of this place would be neat. Although I will say, whether they do it as like a spin-off or something, but having like field agents go out and investigate altered world events, I guess you could consider, even though they weren't working with the FBC, they were FBI, but you can consider Alan Wake that kind of thing. A game, a spin-off, just dealing with an altered world event somewhere else would be pretty cool, gotta say. So, I don't know. I don't know what Remedy's got planned. I don't know if they're planning on doing like a bunch of spin-offs or anything like that, but I'm excited for what they have in store, and I feel like for a long time with a handful of the games that they were doing, the hype wasn't quite there, but with these past two games that I played, it's been good stuff. I dig it. But anyway, I think it's going to be it. I cannot find the entrance to this place. I've got no clue how to wrap up this little side quest. I don't really feel like scrounging up anymore. Again, I've got some things I got to work on today while I still got some time, if possible. So, despite it being a fairly short stream, that's all right. We did the main stuff. We got the main stories of the DLCs out of the way, and we finished up the main game, obviously. So, I'm good with what we got. I will try to be back. Oh, let's see. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe. If not tomorrow, then probably Wednesday. But I would like to start a new game this week, see how far we could get into it. Whether or not we can finish it this week, I'm not too sure. Again, as I mentioned at the start of the stream, I do want to get into Eco. I would like to get into Eco and then ultimately get into Shadow of the Colossus and perhaps do The Last Guardian as well. It's a game that I haven't played, but it was kind of like on my to-do list. I haven't even bought it. I don't even think I own it. I'm pretty sure. I got to double check, but I'm really sure I haven't. So I need to get it still. But yeah, definitely a series I've wanted to take a look at with those three games there. So we'll be getting into that next time around. Eco, I don't think I've ever finished, to be quite honest. I think I played it for a good portion, and then I think I might have gotten stuck somewhere, and then I was like, I'll come back to this, and then I never did. So some of it will be a new experience. How far I actually played into the game, it's been years. I don't remember. And I played it on the PS3 collection. So this time around, I like to do everything in its original form if possible. We will be playing Eco and Shadow of the Colossus on the original PS2. I streamed Shadow of the Colossus years and years and years ago, back when I first started streaming. But I streamed the PS3 version. There are subtle differences. And playing it on the PS2, it will look rather nice since I've got the RetroTink 5X. So sort of excited to see how that looks But yeah, we'll be getting into that next time, and should be fun. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it as always. Again, either come back tomorrow or the day after, but excited to get started on some eco. But that was Control. Good game. Had a lot of fun with it. DLC, again, as much as most DLC tends to be, not as fun as the main game, but I do think the Alan Wake one was actually pretty good. Foundation one was it's all right, but the Alan Wake one is probably as close as we're gonna get to like having a full game experience. I thought it was pretty interesting with the variety that it had in there. So good stuff all around. Can't wait for Remedy's next game. Definitely gonna be looking forward to whatever they got next, and much like Alan Wake 2, I will be getting it, whatever it may be, unless it's something like completely out of left field. But yeah, more than likely be getting it on launch. Actually, are they working on those? I think they might be working in tandem with Rockstar on the Max Payne remakes. So that might be it. I don't know. I'd still like to check those out too, though. So whatever it's going to be interesting. But that's for a later date. But anyway, thank you guys again. See you all next time. Have a good night, and catch you later. See ya.